What does it mean to love the self or self-love? Self-love has to do with allowing what you are in any given moment, allowing the feelings and emotions that exist inside of you and not resisting them and not stifling them and not trying to push them down or use something outside the self to stuff or stifle the emotions, um, such as um, alcohol, food, sex, shopping, socializing, being on social media, um, fill in the blank. Pretty much anything outside the self, if you're mm, using it in excess and to the point where you're ignoring your emotions, what happens is the emotions get covered up and brushed under the carpet until one day you hit a point where you either hit rock bottom and you have to deal with yourself, or you explode and take out your anger that you've been stuffing, take it out on your friends or loved ones. It's usually the people closest to us are the ones who get the brunt of that, right? But when you're loving yourself, you can actually allow the emotions that exist within you without performance. So if you're angry or upset, you don't need to temper tantrum or take it out on someone you love or start complaining or blaming, right? But you can go back to the breath and allow yourself to be what you are. And you're going to find out real fast who your true friends are, because they're going to be authentic with you. They're going to be able to allow all of you, good mood, bad mood, anywhere in between. So, be gentle with yourself, because this is a very chaotic time on the planet. We're getting so much information from so many different sources, and we have to use discernment to really feel within ourselves. Does that feel right? Does that feel accurate? Um, and really rely on that internal compass. That's your inner knowing. Some people call it your instinct, your gut instinct, right? Mm, anyway, the more that you develop this and get to know thyself, the more you get to know thyself and you self actualize, you become self aware. And when you are self aware, you're aware of emotions that exist within you while you're going through an experience, but you're not judging yourself harshly. You're just simply allowing, observing, right? Um, I hope that this helps. I hope that this adds insight into yourself and what it means to self love. We've heard the term a lot, but self love, it's not always necessarily what we think it is. Self love comes from a place deep within where we allow and accept that which we are, beyond all the negative self talk, beyond all of the judgments of others or our perceived judgments. They might not even be judging us, but if we perceive that they are, we can become self conscious, um, which is okay. The term, if you think about it, becoming self conscious, conscious of self, that's okay. That's a beautiful thing. And we can celebrate that. Um, it's funny, some of the mainstream terms that are used right now that, if you think about it, it's not such a bad thing. Now, this doesn't mean that you're selfish because you're focused on self, right? So if you're on a plane and there's an emergency, you have to secure your oxygen mask first and then help those around you. So when you're checking in with the self, you're developing true self, which is love, which is connected to source energy, God, love. And when you're connected in this way, you're allowing the self so well that you can allow others. It's an amazing phenomenon that happens as you get to know true self. That's you without putting on social airs, right? That's true self. As you do this, you become so self-sensitive, sensitive to self, that you become sensitive to others. You know what they're going through because you can sense it, because you know yourself. You're just looking at them and going, oh, I recognize that. I've been there. Ooh. Now, the way we talk to ourselves is probably going to be a lot different than the way we would talk to a friend, right? So when I err or I fall short of what I think I'm capable of, or if I don't meet a deadline or I break a promise, anything like that, I really judge myself harshly and I'm very hard on myself. And my friends say, oh, don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. But here's the thing. We do it. We just do it. We feel bad. We have remorse. We go through shame and guilt and all this stuff, right? Now, I want to encourage you to become your own best friend. And I know this sounds cheesy-rific, but it's true because remember, wherever you go, there you are, right? Right? And when you come into this world, you're there with you. And when you leave this world, you're there with you. Now, friends and family members, they come and go, but they're not always with you, not 100% of the time. And we cannot always count on each other. What happens when you need a friend and they don't answer the phone? What are you going to do? Freak out, tantrum, start blaming? I mean, that's ridiculous. But when you learn to become your own best friend, you can be self-reliant. And I'm not talking about becoming an island or becoming separate from those around you, because separation in the studies that we've studied, it means defined, excuse me, separation defined means pain, because there's pain in separation. Um, just like when you're with a lover, if you're closed down to each other, you feel separate and it's painful. And then when you talk and you clear the air, you have a good communication. Oh, you know, you can have a healing, get things off your chest. Now you feel together again. You feel united, you feel cozy, you feel loved, they feel loved. You are one, right? Getting that intimate, cozy feeling, right? And I'm not talking about sexuality. I'm talking about that feeling of intimacy, of coming together with those that you love in a way that feels like mm, there's nothing there. There's nothing between you. There's no laundry list of resentments, right? You're at peace with yourself and with those around you. So, becoming your own best friend. This does not make you a narcissist, right? Remember, everyone on the planet has narcissistic tendencies. It does not mean that they are a narcissist, okay? This word is being used a lot, and it's fine. It's a descriptive to describe someone who is more selfish, right? Not self-conscious, self-aware, right? A little bit of a difference. So, which leads me to the difference between healthy ego and altered ego. So, healthy ego exists within all of us, and it gives us self-confidence, and it gives us this feeling of, yes, I can. I have courage. I know that I'm capable of this. I know I'm the woman for the job or the man for the job. I show up. I show up because I declare that I can and I'm capable and I love myself enough to step up to the plate and to be that man or be that woman, right? Right? And that's okay. That's a beautiful thing. That's to be celebrated. We celebrate confidence, right? In others. And often we look up to it and we say, "Oh, wow, I wish I could be that confident. Wow, that looks great." But cocky, arrogant, that has a stink to it. Smells up the entire room, right? And we can feel if somebody's in that, full of themselves, we say, right? So that would be altered ego. And what happens when one is full of themselves? There's no room for learning because their cup is full. So they're not being able to listen. They're not able to be a good listener, to bring in, to receive another. When we receive another through nonviolent communication and active listening, you're really present with someone. You're really receiving what they're saying. You're listening. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. When people feel heard, they feel received. When people feel heard, they feel loved. If you want someone to feel affinity towards you or to love you, be a good listener. Be a good listener. They're going to feel very loved by you, okay? But even more importantly, is to be a deeper listener within yourself. What is going on inside of me? What am I feeling? Sometimes, as we're doing this work, we come to a point where we realize we need to mourn. We need to mourn the loss of what could have been. We need to mourn the loss of a loved one. Maybe we had to work to put food on the table and we weren't able to allow ourselves a mourning process when we lost someone close to us. And this could be when someone passes the body, or it could be, when a relationship breaks up, right? There's all sorts of things that happen. But sometimes we don't allow ourselves to grieve. And it's very important. Get into it. Put on the moth-eaten sweater and mope around, right? Be gentle with yourself. And if you mess up and you overindulge in a too big of a bowl of ice cream, or you become addicted to sex, or whatever your thing is, addicted to shopping, it doesn't matter. I mean, in the big scheme of things, just try to use moderation, okay? These are chaotic times on the planet, okay? There's talk of world crisis, and I don't want to put too much emphasis on that because we want to focus on healing and allowing. But we're aware. We're aware of what's going on. It is chaotic. It is crisis. And how do we deal? How do we deal? How do we cope? So much bad news, friends and family in crisis, friends and family losing things, losing money, losing jobs, losing loved ones. You take care of you. Stay in your lane. Be kind. But kindness doesn't mean that you're going to be taken advantage of either, okay? So just be gentle with yourself. Give yourself a beat to have some tea or have some time on the phone with a friend, an entrusted friend. And if the friend's not available, don't let it be the end of the world for you, okay? Because you are your own best friend, okay? I love you. Be at peace. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your beautiful creative self, who you are, who you want to become, who you've been that's brought you to this moment in time. Let's celebrate all of it. And remember, when you are doing this healing and you're doing this inner work, you are bringing this good karma to your family generations, your bloodline, your ancestry. As you are healed, your family and bloodline is healed on this particular item or topic, whatever is up for you, right, at that time. So give yourself a pat on the back for having the courage to take the time to take a beat, to check in with yourself, to see, how am I doing? How am I doing? And give thanks. Give thanks. Remember to give thanks. Thanks and praise, because life is beautiful. Life is precious. And if you don't have anything to be grateful for, find one thing, One time I was so upset I wasn't grateful for anything, and I thought of kittens. I finally said, okay, I'm grateful for kittens. And that was my doorway. Okay. So just focus on one thing that you're grateful for, because gratitude will lead you to manifest faster than anything I've ever witnessed in my life. Gratitude. Keep that gratitude attitude. Even when you're grumpy, even when you're not grateful, even when you're temper tantruming inside. I'm not talking about acting out on these things. But that gratitude attitude, it will get you so far in life. Just be grateful for one thing and quit your bitching. Stop complaining. Stop doing it. And if you have a tendency to complain, if you want to know if you're a complainer, just watch your parents. If your parents are complainers, when they get together and they talk, and that's what they like to talk about, oh, the aching knee, and oh, the weather's so bad, and oh, the neighbors got into this trouble, and the news. If they're complaining, guaranteed you're a complainer too, because they're your first teachers. They're the ones who taught you, right? So if you want a good self-study, just see, observe, right? And find out. And then if that is a tendency for you, snap out of it. For every negative thing that you say, you can say a positive, and the positive holds 10 times more power, right? And for every negative that you catch yourself thinking or saying, you can counter it with a positive, right? And do 3 positives to counter the negative, okay? And get yourself back on track. Like, if you're feeling sorry for yourself and you feel like life is against you and life sucks, or you're aching back or whatever, I am perfect health. I am perfect health. I am perfect health. I love that I live. I am renewable energy, renewable, sustainable life force energy. I am. I am. My cells are ever renewing. I am grateful for life. I am grateful for this room that I'm in. I'm grateful for you for being here, for having the courage to be here to listen to some different points of view. Cool. So celebrate anything you can think of to be grateful for, okay? And watch the doors open. Gratitude attitude creates miracles. And I mean miracles, and fast. It's amazing. When I shift my negative thoughts, if I'm pissed off and complaining and I can't find anything right, and I catch myself in that, and I switch to gratitude, almost instantaneously, my world changes. The sun comes out, the big surprise comes, the magic check in the mail comes. I mean, it's fun. Okay, so have fun with this. Be gentle with yourself, celebrate who you are, and be your own best friend. Love you. Bye.